Hi, I'm Zane with Zane Engineers Life. So, a lot of people are thinking about losing or maybe even quitting their jobs right now. And okay, you're probably in one of two boats. You have the economy's downturn, there's a recession, maybe you screwed up, maybe you see writing on the wall that you're about to lose your job, or your job blows, it doesn't pay you enough, your boss is a jerk, you're not fulfilled, and it's time to go. So, whether you're getting fired or think you're getting laid off or you're just planning on quitting, how do you navigate this tricky time? You have a job, you're just not sure how much longer, or you need a new job, you're just not sure how soon. Well, three things to think about. Number one, what is my runway? And see, this is just simple income and expenses here. Your emergency fund, and isn't that a joke, right? Like you have plenty of money to put in an emergency fund. Well, see, no one who has three kids and is living paycheck to paycheck has an emergency fund. So back up. What is your runway? What does it cost you to live every month, and how much money do you have? See, the second one divided by the first one is how many months you can go without income and still live. So let's say you got $1,500 to your name and you need $3,500 a month to live and pay your bills. Well, you've got 42% of a month or 12 days and change to play with. Now, with that figured out, we're on to number two. How do I extend this runway? Well, first thing, find a way to spend less. Like somehow, do it. Like we need time, man. Like time to think, time to build a plan. And you got to sit and you got to look and you say, well, what must I have? Can I downsize? Can I ditch a car? Can I eat ramen noodles? Whatever it is. And I know this sounds bad, but remember, this is temporary and you can do it. See, how long can you make it with absolutely no income? If it's 53 minutes, then we've got to have a job in place before we can bail. If it's 2 weeks and we think we might get laid off, well, it's probably not the time to take that $4,000 Disney trip, right? Okay, so we figured out our runway and we started thinking about how to make it last longer. So the third one is, how do I make more money on the income side? So just like there's only so many clothes you can take off when it's hot, there's only so much cost cutting you can do to your budget. See, you can't save your way to a Ferrari here. So what we've got to do is we've got to find a way to make more. Set up a side hustle, run Uber Eats, look for work in a parallel industry that pays more, maybe even swallow your pride and do whatever you need to support yourself and your family. You got to pick up some pizzas at night so that you can last a little longer, so that you can make it until you have another job in place. Well, remember, it's all going to be worth it to get you out of that crappy job, right? All right, so let's put this into practice. And see, so many people need help right now. I need you to stop 1 second, like and subscribe, and reach out to me on LinkedIn. Okay, let's put this into practice. Scenario one, the CEO of the company just took a big bonus, and the company just lost your biggest customer, and it looks like there's a storm coming on the horizon. Okay, so we're going to get our family income and expenses clearly on a piece of paper. We're going to figure out our musts. We're going to figure out our wants. And we're going to figure out how long can we actually make it without work. Like, should we jump now? Does the company, and here's a key one, does the company have a history of paying severance? And maybe you could hold out long enough while starting a side business to pick up that severance pay. See, sometimes when bigger companies let you go, they'll pay you for a few months just so you don't cause a lot of problems. See, this is the point where you prepare a written plan on what you would do. And you write that down. If you lost your job tomorrow, what would you do? If you lost your job 2 weeks from now, what would you do? If you lost your job 2 months from now, what you would do? See, this is a practice drill and you're just getting ready. Okay, so let's try a second scenario. All right, your job sucks and you got to get out of there. So the first thing we do is we figure out our runway and we check out my other video on when to tell your boss to shove it. Look in there for the plan. And the short version of that is with a runway in place, you begin to find options for other jobs. And if you're thinking about quitting, you start laying the groundwork. You start reaching out. You start making connections. You start interviewing other places. And then you go bring these issues up to your boss's boss and give them a chance to fix it before you make your move. Now, if you might get laid off, well, prepare and stack some cash. Start some side work, make connections, figure out if you should hold out for severance, prepare, start reaching out to the first people that jumped maybe. Usually there's a first wave of people that leave the job as it's beginning to implode upon itself. Start reaching out to them and see if they can bring you along. See, one of the best things that ever happened to me was my job was super boring and it wasn't really doing it for me. And I had old customers beginning to push me to do work for them. So I actually started doing some moonlighting while I was working this job. Well, I landed this massive side project and I had no idea how I was going to do it, not while I was working full time. And so I go into work that day and I get called into the main conference room and I go in and I sit down and HR is there and my boss is there and my boss looks sick to his stomach. And guess what? I get laid off and I get a 5-month severance package to go with it. Holy cow. There I had it. There was my runway. And my engineering company actually started right then. I incorporated not long after that. In fact, I think it was in the next month, and that's how Phoenix Engineering got started. I was prepared, I had started a side hustle, I got laid off, and ended up starting my own company. Okay, moral of the story today. First, figure out your runway, then begin to lengthen that runway, meaning how long you can last, because, see, that gives you time. And with time, you can begin to make those connections, find options, interview, find other jobs, and find somewhere to go. See, you've got this. And I want you to post in the comments. If you've got worries or fears or issues or something comes up or even successes, please put them in there for others to see. And DM me if you need some help. If something's not going well and you need a way out or you're out of money or you don't know what to do, reach out to me. We'll figure it out. I'm Zane with Zane Engineers Life, and we'll make you better.